one, whenever, and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. Happy Monday, August 30th, 2021. A lot of energy this morning. I slept well. The $6,000 bed is coming through. Indeed it is. If you've never slept in 0G, you're an idiot.
0G.
You haven't slept before. All right. Don't forget this is a 4-day week because I'm going camping on Friday. Suck it.
Oh my God.
I have a lot of energy today.
Wow.
We'll be off on Friday, back on Tuesday, but that means 4 shows.
Wow.
To really hop on what's going on in Big 12 expansion, you know, because that's all anybody cares about, right? Don't forget, we're giving away a Traeger smoker on this show.
Ironwood.
8869. Ironwood 650 smokers, what we're giving away on this show. We're going to do that when we get to 2,500 subs. All you have to do is subscribe. Take a picture that you're subscribed. Tag us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. I'm up to like almost 400 followers on TikTok.
Okay.
That cart video is pushing 700,000 views.
Dang, you're famous.
I got a viral video, bruh.
You're famous and stuff.
You know? Bruh.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, make sure you tag both of us. Jake is SLC Supercars. I am The Monty Show. Monty, The Monty Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Tag us both in that picture showing you're subscribed, and you too could win a Traeger Ironwood 650. Let's go to work. BYU joining the Big 12. It's done, in this man's opinion. I pretty much believe this is over now. The only question remaining is who stays with BYU in the Big 12. That's BYU's only concern. That's why this deal's not done. The Big 12 is trying to circle the wagons, if you will, and figure out which of its membership is staying. If they can somehow hang on to the remaining 8 teams outside of Oklahoma and Texas, it's over. BYU is going to join the Big 12. The other question for me, if I'm BYU, who's joining the Big 12 with me? Is it Houston? Is it SMU? Is it one of those ridiculous Florida schools that nobody would care about? Either way, BYU has to know who else is going to be in the Big 12, and will the Big 12 be a viable P5 conference? A lot of people say this is a no-brainer, Jake. Are you among them?
Yeah, I mean, so I think for BYU, the biggest thing right now is that you have to understand how much flexibility you have being an independent. So the last thing you want to do is join a P5 just for the sake of saying you're in a P5, but then have all this, rigidity and rules you got to follow and just all this stuff that you have to deal with. I think for BYU, you want to make sure that you're not hurting your chances of a national championship by joining the Big 12. Because again, I think we talk about this a lot, but I really think it's a pertinent point for BYU where you have this situation because Tom Holmoe is so good at scheduling and he gets all this SEC talent on the schedule that, going to the Big 12 could really change the dynamic of your postseason hopes. So that would be my only thing. I think overall it's a good move for BYU. I think, joining the P5, obviously from a college football playoff committee standpoint, helps your chances of getting into the college football playoff. But I think now, the excuse of, hey, we won 5 games because we played all these SEC teams and all these really good teams kind of goes away. Like by joining the Big 12, don't the expectations go up in the win column? Wouldn't you say, hey, we're joining a P5, we're joining the Big 12. There are a lot of teams in this conference that we should be able to handle. So to me, I think it's pretty much all pluses outside of the college football playoff dynamic. I'll just be interested to see, how that all sort of plays out, if that makes sense.
Well, the thing that really comes to mind is not that you want to be in a P5. Clearly you do. I mean, it makes your path to the national championship that much easier. But when you look at BYU's situation, I think one of the things that we have to get, straight away cleared up is that BYU's not desperate. And a lot of people this weekend, listening to the news, reading the news, a lot of people want to paint BYU as desperate to get into a conference. BYU's not desperate. And one of the things I think really has come out of this whole Big 12 discussion is that a lot of people in this country don't understand the situation that BYU is in. I read everything from BYU is financially strapped, which is ridiculous, to BYU needs more national TV games, which is ridiculous.
Laughable.
I mean, like, it's amazing to me how many big-name college football insiders don't understand the situation or really the what's the right way to say it, the circumstances that BYU finds themselves in. BYU made this bet in independence, and they are happily laying in it, and they are thriving in independence. This idea that they're struggling or they're not relevant, if we learned anything last year in 2020, 2021, it's that BYU sure the heck is relevant.
Yeah.
And I think that's why now, when you have a conference like the Big 12 that absolutely has to add membership, I think it's imperative that they land BYU. And again, I don't think this is a question of does the Big 12 want BYU? It does. The question is, does BYU want the Big 12? Should BYU wait? Should BYU hope that there is another invitation or another mega merger coming? I don't know. I think if I'm BYU, again, not to be redundant, I need two questions answered. Who's staying and who's coming with me? That's the biggest question, because BYU, if you put them into the Big 12, especially without Oklahoma and Texas, I don't know how BYU's not favored in that conference every single year in football.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
If you think about what's left there, I don't know that BYU has that much trouble, A, building, because they're going to instantly become more credible to recruits, and B, I think they're automatically in the conference championship game straight away. If you don't make the Big 12 conference championship game every year, I think that's a problem if you're BYU, right? But the question is, should BYU do this now? You've had such a good run in independence, and you've made so much headway. There is no doubt in my mind, and maybe you disagree, Jake, I don't know.
Yeah.
Joining the Big 12 right now is a risk.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely risk in it, but I also think that, I guess it really depends on what your goal is. Like, to me, in the program, the goal is to make money every year, obviously, to be in the black, as Tom Homo said, but also to be relevant and to play meaningful football. I mean, that is part of what sort of feeds a great program. I mean, think about it. You're walking into some offensive lineman's living room with his parents sitting there, and you're trying to sell them a program that doesn't really have, I mean, yes, BYU conceivably as an independent could get to the college football playoff, but right now I think we can all agree, they don't really have too much of a shot unless they go perfect in their season. Unless they just win every single game and do it in dominant fashion, you're not getting into the college football playoff as it currently sits. So to me, from a program standpoint, the health of the program, joining a P5 to me really helps your recruiting, because you're still going to have, right, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you're still going to have the ESPN contract, right, if you're BYU. So you're still going to be able to sell off of that. You're now going to be able to say, hey man, we're in a P5 conference, we're in the Big 12. You're gonna be on TV week in and week out, and we want to go ahead and win the conference and get into the college football playoff. So to me, there's a lot of upside here. I agree with you. It is largely contingent on who comes with BYU and who doesn't. But at the end of the day, if I'm Tom Homo and I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, what will be more productive for us as an institution from a sporting perspective? To me, joining the Big 12 is more productive. You can do more with it. You can recruit at a higher level. I'm sure there are a ton of opportunities to make even more money than you already do. So to me, if you just look at it from the health of the program, it's a no-brainer to join the Big 12. I just think the only downside is who you're going to be playing every single week, because right now you play a lot of good teams.
Well, is the money better? Because I think this is a significant discussion as well.
Yeah.
Tom Homo, got a lot of fanfare for saying that BYU operates in the black. They're a profitable athletic department. And a lot of that obviously is basketball and football. And a lot of that is their relationship with ESPN. And a lot of that is their ability to brand their radio network, to brand their stadium, all of these opportunities that cannot go away. I think, by the way, the ESPN relationship is a critical factor for the Big 12. They need that relationship intact.
Need that exposure.
And the question is, how much money does BYU make in addition to what they make now by joining the Big 12? I think you have to ask that question. And I think a lot of people are trying to be inflammatory in this discussion, and I'm telling you I'm not. I know it sounds crazy. BYU should be in no hurry to accept this invitation. The Big 12 needs BYU. They are almost desperate for BYU because if you look at the other contenders to join this conference, listen, SMU and Houston are almost no-brainers, right? But not both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
There's no value in that for the Big 12. SMU or Houston with BYU, now you're cooking with gas, right? Central Florida and SMU, Central Florida and Houston.
What do you have to hold on there?
Cincinnati and Central Florida.
No.
Really? Does that feel big? Does that feel good? It doesn't. You BYU, and you can bring me Sunday play and, oh, they don't like gay people in Provo. We can have all those discussions. But there's one thing you're never going to get away from, whether you love BYU or hate BYU. They're one of the most consistent P5 teams in the country. They have been since they joined independence. Tom Homo has written a schedule that most teams would salivate to have. It is without doubt that BYU has been able to dominate the transfer market. They have recruited much better. They are doing much, much better in the state of Utah than anybody anticipated they would. I'm telling you now that BYU doesn't need the Big 12 as much as the Big 12 needs BYU. And for me, I look at the other schools in this conference, and I simply ask myself, who is staying? And is anybody else going? Because Baylor, Iowa State, the Kansas schools, those are obviously teams that are, those are no-brainers. You have to have those teams. West Virginia, Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma State. What does Oklahoma State do now? I mean, without your big brother in Oklahoma, you lose a key game every year. Now you become a thorn in the side of Oklahoma scheduling. Like, how much relevance does the Big 12 have, even if you add BYU and SMU, who I think are the two that make the absolute most sense? How much relevance does this conference have?
I mean, not a lot, but certainly more than the Pac-12 does, but I don't think, I don't really think a ton has changed. I mean, losing these two schools, Texas and Oklahoma, obviously is a huge loss on both fronts. But when you look at, if we take an honest look at college football, when was the last time, anybody really cared about Texas all that much? Outside of the big Fox game where you've got, Ellinger against whoever it is that particular day. I mean, that was the draw with Texas. So with Texas, I'm like, it kind of depends on the year. Kind of depends, who they got a quarterback.
How's the Oklahoma game looking?
Yeah,
how is the Red River shootout?
But at least with Oklahoma, they put out quarterbacks, right? We can at least say Oklahoma puts out big time quarterbacks.
Well, and they don't change coaches every other year. They don't have booster problems. They Texas. I don't disagree at all. I think Texas has been a significant disappointment for a lot of the fan base and for a number of years. I mean, I think Oklahoma is the prize there. If you're the SEC, there's no doubt. But having said that, one good year out of Texas puts you back in the Vince Young Rose Bowl days.
Right.
One good win out of
that's a perfect example.
Yeah, one good year out of Texas, and this is a moot point. If Texas joins the SEC, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to find your next Vince Young. If Texas joins the SEC, it's going to make them a juggernaut. I mean, with the Longhorn Network and their ability to recruit, being on national TV, the SEC has one of the best TV deals in the country. I mean, it makes Texas and Oklahoma much better.
Yeah.
And the question is, I don't know what you do if you're the Big 12. Because really, I think you need to add more than two teams. I think you need to go poaching. I think you need to go, and you need to hope, frankly, that you're able to. I would attack the Pac-12. If I am any other conference, I'm attacking the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Because as a Colorado, you're hugely disappointed in your relationship with the Pac-12. You haven't made any money. It hasn't risen your profile. I don't think there's any question that there are teams in the Pac-12 that are not married to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
As poorly as the TV situation has gone, the revenue situation, the commissioner situation, I just think it's an incredibly awkward time for the Pac-12. Announcing last week you're not expanding, huge mistake. Huge mistake in my opinion. I just think that we have gotten into a point where the Pac-12 has weakened itself to vulnerability. And if I'm the Big 12, I have to do what I have to do. And I'm going after you're not going to get Oregon. You're not going to get USC.
It's not the marquee names, but it's Colorado. It's, Arizona.
Absolutely. If you are, and this is I guess the question I would ask, if you're the Big 12, why haven't you called Utah?
Yeah. Great question. Great question.
If you add a quality program like Utah, if you're the Big 12, why haven't you called Washington State? Why haven't you gone after the bottom 9 teams in the Pac-12? You have to get aggressive here. I mean, if you think about the Big 10, if you're the Big 12, have you called Nebraska? And if you haven't, why not? Like, how is that a phone call you haven't made?
Yeah.
Have you called Minnesota? Have you go be crazy, go be delusional, have them laugh you off the phone. And I'm being serious. Have them laugh you off the phone. Because I don't think you're in a position, with all due respect to BYU, I just don't think adding BYU and SMU makes you what you once were. It does not make you whole.
You're never going to replace Texas and Oklahoma. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Like that just needs to be understood.
Kenny's first in this morning. He says, "Good morning, fellas. If you're in BYU's position, yes, maybe you want to join a conference eventually, but you don't want to carry a conference at the same time."
Yeah. And you don't want to put at risk, what all this good momentum that you have going. There's just no reason to do that. So, for once, I think BYU has to be selfish. And by the way, not that we have to go down this rabbit hole, but just another question that I think is important in this conversation is, let's say that BYU were to join the Big 12. Well, now you can no longer say that Utah has more to lose than BYU in the Holy War. Like, there's a lot to lose for BYU in the Holy War. So I think that's why this whole joining a conference thing, obviously it's a big deal, but I think there's just so many angles on it if you're BYU. Like, A, does it make us better? B, do we continue to operate in the black, as he famously said? C, can we continue to add NIL deals being, part of the Big 12 versus being an independent? Like, I'm sure you can, but how does that impact those kind of conversations? Is it a positive? Is it a negative? Like, these are all things that you have to consider. It's not as easy as just saying, hey, can we go out and win the Big 12 every single year so that we can be closer to a championship? That might be what fans care about, but I can tell you right now, if you're an athletic director, you're looking at a P&L statement. You're looking at recruiting. You're looking at, like, hey, how does this help the institution as a whole? All of these things. This is more than just football, man.
Listen, I think on paper, simply stated, it looks like joining the Big 12 is the quickest route to a national championship. I don't know if that's true or not. Does your schedule improve if you join the Big 12?
Not really.
I don't know. Do you lose the Utah State game if you join the Big 12? Do you lose the Boise game if you join the Big 12? Is Iowa State better than Boise or Utah State? Probably. I don't know. Does it improve your strength of schedule? Does it improve your attractiveness to the playoff committee?
See, I think it does, but I think so. Like, in terms of attractiveness to the playoff committee, I think for BYU the standard still remains largely the same. Whether you're in the conference or not, you basically have to win all your games. You have to get, like, if you're in the Big 12, you have to win the Big 12 to get in if you're BYU. And I also think that credibility-wise, yes, joining the conference will really help BYU. But at the end of the day, none of the, hey, are they going to get into the Final Four for college football? None of that matters unless you continue to recruit well and unless you have a good program going.
And the other thing I think needs to be said is BYU has to learn to value itself, and I think they've learned that through independence. There were so many people that pronounced BYU dead on arrival in independence. And that never came to fruition. But you're attractive to the Big 12. If for no other reason, then you could join next season if you really wanted to. You don't have to pay some huge, fee to break a contract, right? Yeah, you don't. You don't have to worry about, like the money, you don't have to, look at Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
Well, we can't join for 2 years. And does anybody think college football is going to be the same today as it is in 2 years?
No.
It's not. And so when I look at BYU is a commodity. They make money. They make the Big 12 more money than they're making now. They are available, which is a big deal. And they're a really good football and basketball program. I mean, is this a football-only deal? I don't know. Is Sunday play that big of a deal? Not in the WCC. It's not. For basketball, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's interesting to see how this deal will go down. And it better make BYU more money. And it can't just be, they have access to the playoff now, so that inherently makes them more money, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You're not desperate. You don't need the Big 12.
Let's put it this way. There's a lot of opportunity to mess this up and very little opportunity to get it right. However, if you do get it right, that could be, obviously game-changing to your program. So you just have to be – that's why I say, I'm not trying to speak in generalities, but to wrap this thing up, there's so much to consider here. It is not just, hey, can we get to the college football playoff? For an institution like BYU, and no shade to anybody else in the Big 12, but BYU, to me, brand-wise, is above them. BYU's brand is 10 times as strong as SMU or any of these rando schools.
Anybody that's in the Big 12 right now, BYU is on par with them. They're not Oklahoma. BYU is not Oklahoma.
No.
BYU is not Texas. I don't know many other teams in the country that are.
Are they Baylor?
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
They have more, in my opinion, you have more history and tradition than Baylor does. And I think you are certainly, there's not a team in the Big 12 that is a bigger brand than BYU. There isn't.
Yeah.
And frankly, looking at Kalani and the way they've built this program, I don't know that there's a better football program in the Big 12 than BYU right now. So
we'll see.
If I'm BYU, again, it's what I would say. I always say this about having a daughter. You better make sure that you value yourself. You better understand that you are a commodity, right, in dating. You better understand that. You never value yourself, but I always tell you to, which is why I talk about having a daughter. Anyway, the point is...
Hater, bro.
What?
Hater.
The point is, all I'm saying, in all seriousness, BYU needs to value itself. Harper Brace says no one will want BYU in their conference. Okay. Let's see how that turns out for you, bro. James Knight says, hi, guys. Great job with the video over the weekend. Great insight into your personal life. Yeah, we're doing a weekly vlog now that consumes our entire weekend and takes a ton of effort. In the vlog that we posted yesterday, it was tattoos, me being fat, us working out,
Bro.
and what? What?
You can't let it go.
No, I can't. Do a vlog on YouTube of yourself, and it's amazing that you add 150 pounds. Anyway, well, in my case, it'd be like 300 pounds. But the point is, we worked out, we smoked some chicken. My wife smoked tofu, which I wish now I had eaten because she said it was amazing. But we're going to do that every week. We're going to try and do one this week, even though Mrs. Monty and I will be at Yellowstone this weekend. So we'll see. I should be able to create some content off of that. So we'll see how that goes. Tanner Plummer says BYU needs to get in the Big 12 right now. They need that P5 status. Yes, there is a risk, but I feel that it's a necessary risk. This is the best chance, and it could be their last chance.
Agreed.
What?
Agreed. I think this could be their last best chance for a while. I don't think you have these kind of chances just falling off trees.
I think there is college football realignment for years to come. So this won't be their last chance. The question is, do you shoot your shot right now? Because I don't know who else is staying in the Big 12 and who's coming with me. Those two questions have to be asked. Do you have long-term commitments out of the other schools? Hey, I need to know, have you called Iowa? Have you called Nebraska? Have you called Colorado? We need, because those are the kind of brands that the Big 12 needs, right? Have you called them and, tried to bring them into the fold? Because it'd be nice if the Big 12 had, 12 teams. That'd be cool. So to me, I think you need to know what's the plan. Who are you talking to? Because the Big 12, with all due respect, again, the Cincinnati, which is a joke, if it's BYU and Cincinnati, BYU should not go. Should not go. If it's BYU in Central Florida, they shouldn't go. It makes
That's
no
a tough
sense.
Conversation, dude. That's a really tough conversation because on the other side of that, not that I'm saying you're wrong because I pretty much agree with you, but on the other side of that, don't you have to say to yourself, like, all right, yeah, we don't love the teams that are joining this conference, but how much weight is there in the P5 status thing? Because I think that, like that is for BYU specifically, because they're an independent, that has to be a major factor in the conversation. Obviously, your goal is to get to the college football playoff and continue, because that's the next thing for them. They have to start, getting to this thing where they're constantly in that conversation. Yes. But to do that as an independent is damn near impossible. So to me, does getting to the college football playoff make you more money? Well, yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, I think what's more important for BYU is the relevance of constantly being talked about on ESPN and constantly being in Mel Kiper's mouth and all these things that you need. You can't tell me that kind of growth isn't valuable to the program. So that's what I mean when I say you got to weigh, okay, P5 status / relevancy versus all the good things we have going as an independent and all the great scheduling we have going on and money making we have going on.
I don't want to replace Pac-12 schools on my schedule with Cincinnati.
Right.
With Central Florida.
That's tough, yeah.
With Memphis is another team I've heard a lot about. Not interested.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to talk to me about any of the Big Ten teams, Colorado, think about another, a San Diego State.
Yeah.
San Diego State would be a great addition to the Big 12. Now, they're probably a little too Pacific Coast for you, but I just think you have to swing for the fences here.
Yeah.
If you are the Big 12, and again, I would go at this from BYU's perspective. I'm not leaving Independence to go and play Central frickin' Florida. I'm not doing it. I'm not leaving Independence just to play Iowa State and SMU every year. I've already got a better schedule than that.
Yeah.
And I'm already on ESPN, and I'm already profitable. What's the win for me at that point? Because when major conference realignment happens, and it will, and we stop talking about, land grants, major research institutions. You really think that's what college football is about? Land grants and research institutions. Now, that's what the arrogance and the aloof folks at the Pac-12 will tell you. Wow, we're not here to win football games. We're here to fund research. No,
what an idiot!
Yeah, no, you're not. You're not. Please stop. Okay, listen. Maybe at Stanford, sure. Did anybody see what UCLA did? Anybody? They kicked ass. They're here to win football games. Do you think USC wants to be a great film school, or do they want to be a national championship so they can pay for their great film school? This is a money issue. It's a win football games issue. At some point, the Pac-12 is going to have to let go of their Rolls Royces and their research institutions of higher learning. Okay, great. Head up to Berkeley and smoke some weed. We're going to go win football games.
That's enough of that crap.
All right, I feel better.
All right, good, perfect.
You're welcome.
Yeah, great.
Jeremy Bolton says, agreed, James, great stuff about our vlog. And good morning, Jeremy. He also says they're making less money in the Big 12 than the current contract with ESPN. No, the question is, are you going to make more money in the Big 12? Because if you're not, why would you do it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go give away some of my TV revenue that I'm bringing to the table that might bring me closer to the red line. I'm not doing that. That's all I care about. I think Kenny says, I think the money is worse unless they get good schools to join with them. Agreed 100%. Wow, comment dump. Daryl Adams says, Blue Cougars and Red Cougars have had a few good games. I think, am I the only one that thinks the Pac-12 is vulnerable?
Well, I mean, they're just not respected. I mean, vulnerable, not respected. You're not in a good place. I mean, yeah, you could be easily had. Sure.
There has been talk for many years now, and I think Texas tried to do it. In 2015, they tried to build a mega conference. I think there is some thought of a west of the Mississippi mega conference. And I'll be interested to see if Texas actually gets to the SEC. Because if the door swings open and Texas and USC can be the linchpins of a new mega conference.
Come on. Those are premier brands.
You're doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why do you think Nike and Brand Jordan is so heavily involved in college football? Because they've got the money to make a difference. And I think ESPN is a really intelligent business operation. And ESPN, if you think ESPN isn't having a major impact on BYU to the Big 12, you're crazy.
Yep.
You're crazy. And college football is all about money, man. It really is. I get Houston, but SMU, I'm not sure about SMU joining the Big 12. SMU is a great football program. The death penalty of what was that, 1988, 87, something like that. They're over that now. SMU is and by the way, I'd also remind you, does anybody know, and I'm going to guess you don't know this. I'm probably going to make you look like an idiot.
All right.
Where is SMU based?
I don't know.
Dallas, Texas.
Neat.
So that's a huge
Where's
Texas metroplex. Texas is in Austin.
That's my point.
Yeah, it's a huge metroplex. Dallas is a nice market.
Is that not the best example of where the Big 12 is at?
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be a douche about it, but that's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, SMU makes a lot of sense. Big TV market. Big TV market.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can do
Dallas,
numbers. Yeah.
They play in Dallas. It is SMU. I think a lot of people don't understand that SMU is Texas football. SMU, back in the Craig James days and SMU.
It's not a bad brand. It's a great school. I mean,
especially
the issue is,
in the footprint of the Big 12, SMU's a big brand.
I just think the issue right now is you've got the Pac-12 where they're just it's embarrassing. Let's just tell it how it is.
But to what? When you say it's embarrassing,
the quality of play, the lack of recruiting, the lack of relevancy. Who the hell cares about the Pac-12 come college football playoff time? I'm sick and tired of hearing about Alabama and Georgia and Clemson and who's going to be the fourth team. I'm sick and tired of that, dude. That's every single year. And I never hear about Oregon. I've heard about Utah one time. You never hear about USC, even though they're the Jesus Christ of the Pac-12. I mean,
it's the Joseph Smith.
Like,
of the
what
Pac-12.
What are they gonna do, dude? What are they gonna do? Oh, they've got Keaton Slovis. My God, Keaton Slovis. Like, who cares? Go and prove it. Go and win the Pac-12, and then get into the college football playoff. Then we can start talking about.
USC needs to get back to the Lawrence Jackson,
dude,
those big names,
be something
dominant. Clay Matthews, Brian Cushing,
put up 30 on Utah. Do something.
Yeah,
that's what the Pac-12 needs. They need. It's not the Pac-12's issues. Don't lie with Oregon State and Stanford and UCLA. They don't lie with those schools. They lie with USC. Oregon and Utah. Those three schools are the ones that have a true chance. I don't put a lot of stock into Washington right now. I don't think they were. I don't think they are who they were a couple years ago.
No, and I think the intriguing team in the Pac-12 right now is UCLA. I'm stunned that they dominated like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see.
DTR was really good. I mean,
we'll see.
Really good. Really, really good. eBay the Sofa Surfer says, yo, what's up? He goes, Texas has Matthew McConaughey. All right. Duh.
And Kevin Durant.
Kenny says, if the Big 12 got BYU and Utah, that would be great. But that's the home run that the Big 12 needs. But I don't know that the Big 12 is thinking that way. If I'm the Big 12, I am looking to go big. I'm telling you, the first call I make if I'm the Big 12, Nebraska, number one. We want you back in the league. I'd call Iowa. Absolutely, I'd call Iowa. I'd call Colorado and Utah. Those are the teams I would call.
And we're just assuming BYU's there.
No, I wouldn't call BYU. I would call BYU second. I would be, with all due respect to the Cougs, I mean, I need to replace Oklahoma in Texas. I need major brands that are football powerhouses.
Which is why SMU doesn't quite get it done.
No, that's exactly right. I think that's why you can't add Central Florida. You need Colorado, Utah, Nebraska, Iowa. Go poach some people.
Yeah.
Problem is the Big Ten makes their teams money. They do.
It's true.
And I've heard for years that Nebraska would love to. Nebraska has done nothing in the Big Ten. It has been an abject failure. And I think regionally, the one thing I'll say about a conference like the SEC and the ACC, once you add Texas and Oklahoma, it doesn't hold true anymore. But if you look at the SEC, they dominate the Southeast. You look at the ACC, they've got a bunch of teams that make regional sense. And then the SEC adds Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, it's like, why do you have West Virginia in the Big 12? That's an awkward fit.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that college football is going to realign, and I just wonder who's it going to be. All right. Kenny says, I agree with that. Brandon Whiteside says, BYU has the leverage. They have affiliation with ESPN. They dictate the terms. That's right.
Yeah.
Jake, you're awesome, man. You need to value yourself.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Well, I mean, and there's always plastic surgery for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Kenny says, I hate that there's not 12 teams in the Big 12. A lot of people say that. Greg Hawkins says if BYU moves to the Big 12, then any Utah-BYU game would be P5 interconference game and would win. Any win would look much better for the college football playoff. Absolutely.
Yes.
Casey Finlayson said, who is coming with BYU to join, and did Bowlesby kill any opportunity for the Big 12 and ESPN to work out a TV deal? Those are the questions I have about BYU to the Big 12. Well, BYU, and it depends on who you believe here, because the Bowlesby thing is interesting. If you didn't hear the Tim Brando, Bob Bowlesby interview, you absolutely should go find it. Find Tim Brando on Twitter. There's a link there. But I think BYU opens the door for ESPN in the Big 12. And this is not going to be easy. Anybody that thinks this is going to be an easy thing is wrong. You're absolutely wrong. The Silver Surfer says they are better than TCU and West Virginia brand-wise, not Nebraska, though. Tanner Plummer says, Monty, BYU has more to gain if they play UCF, SMU, and Houston as a Big 12 team than they do playing Utah, USC, and Arizona State as an independent. You're crazy.
See, but
I
I
just
think
don't
that's
agree
a
with that.
fascinating conversation, though. Agree or disagree, that for BYU is the conversation. Like, what because it is an opinion-based conversation, right? At the end of the day, it's an opinion-based conversation. So if you're Tom Holmoe and you're looking at this thing and you're like, hey, this is what we have now versus this is what we potentially have, what do I feel like would be better for us?
And can we run the table in either scenario?
Exactly.
Because BYU, let's say BYU wins the Big 12 championship game, auto bid, okay, you're in.
Yes.
But my question is, if you don't win the Big 12 championship, which is going to be difficult to do, and let's say you go 11-1, are you in? Probably not. Are you in?
I think it's a year-to-year thing.
I think it is too. It's very difficult to get in either way. The auto bid helps. Like you have a clear path to the college football playoff. There's no doubt about that.
And with that clear path, you would think that, at some point you'll be able to utilize that, which would bring more money into your program, which is why I think, that's why I say, I know I don't disagree with you about the, having the premier Pac-12 teams on your schedule is a big deal. But at the end of the day, what formula have we seen to get to where they want to go?
Well, I mean, the formula that really works is play lower tier teams and go undefeated and get into the college football playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if we're being honest.
Which is the Big 12.
Which is why you see teams saying, hey, you need to have P5 teams on every game of your schedule, which I get. It's a philosophical thing.
Yes.
There's no doubt joining the Big 12 gives you a clear, direct A equals B equals college football playoff path.
Yes.
There's no question about that. And if that's your point, Tanner, okay, I agree with that. James Knight says, all quiet on the Jingles trade. Looks like he's staying in SLC.
Listen, dude.
I think that the October extension date, and I don't think he is long term. I don't think a year from now Joe Ingles will have played for somebody else.
Yeah. I don't think that Joe it's not a think thing. Like Joe Ingles will not be here in 3 years. He will not. I think right now you're at a tipping point with him, just like we have this conversation with all kinds of different players in the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball. Like, this is a classic conversation. Yes, the guy is good, but will he be good in 2 seasons? Will he be dead weight on your salary cap in 2 seasons? And the answer is yes. So, to me, no, you didn't trade him yet, but the last time we talked Jazz, you can go back and listen to it, we specifically referenced the fact that, yes, his extension date is in October, so you have until October to get something done. That's just the facts of the case. So that's why we say, hey, they're not going to trade him right this second. Let's get some minutes on the floor. Let's win some ball games with him. Squeeze out the rest of his value on this team, and then move him along. That, to me, that's as clear of a plan as you could possibly get with an NBA player.
Yeah, I agree. Spencer Morgan says Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, and BYU is a home run for the Big 12. I agree.
Yeah.
To wrap up the Big 12 conversation, BYU is in if they want to be in. And if I'm the Big 12, I'm trying to hit a home run in 3 other places because you can't add 2. I think you got to add 4. And if BYU joins the Big 12 and it's, your cousin's technical institute and BYU, it's a mistake.
It is.
Because that conference can go nowhere but up if you're BYU.
What did we see last year with BYU? At the end of the year, they lost a game they should have won to a crappy-ass team. And what happened?
They were done. It was over.
So
everybody started getting ready for Pro Day.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. So my point is playing crappy-ass teams in the Big 12 is probably not super appealing. So, yeah, I think this is in BYU's hands. It is their decision. Yeah, absolutely.
Jake wants to know what the point of getting a tattoo sleeve is. Well, for me...
Okay, let's clarify, first of all. Not me, Jake the comment.
Yes, wants to know what the point of getting a sleeve is. The point is that, well, A, I like tattoos. Duh. And B, it's a themed thing. When it's done, I'll talk about it. Mike is going to be dead weight in a while, too. Is there a trade for him coming? Mike... Conley?
Yeah.
No. Not in the next. I think he's here for the next 2 years.
You don't make that kind of move just to trade the guy.
Yeah, it'd have to be something drastic. There'd have to be some debilitating injury. There'd have to be something would have to change.
Serious need.
Yeah, something would have to change. Speaking of something has to change.
Yeah.
Let's talk about NFL quarterbacks real quick. Because some of the decisions that are going on with NFL quarterbacks are shocking to me. Like, I look at this situation in San Francisco. This is a no-brainer. I think you should play Jimmy Garoppolo full-time and let Trey Lance develop behind him. And then as soon as Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, which is probably in week 1 of warm-ups before the game, then what? Then you're going to play Trey Lance. But there's this common belief that they're going to run a 2-quarterback system in San Francisco. That's a huge mistake.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All that does is divide the locker room. There's not some wildcat package. When did that work? Like, show me where that worked. You need the guy.
God bless.
It didn't work for Tim Tebow. He's a terrible tight end. My point is, you need the guy. And right now, with a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations, my fear is that it's going to be both of them, and Jimmy G and Trey Lance, when it really should be Jimmy Garoppolo until it's not.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo should be your starting quarterback until he doesn't show you that he should be.
You're fixing something that's not broke. I agree with everybody who says that Jimmy G wasn't the reason they got to the Super Bowl, but I got news for you. He made all the passes, he did his damn job, and he put guys in position to make their plays that ultimately took them to the Super Bowl. So however you want to look at it, Jimmy G was a central figure of them getting to the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, I just don't understand why this is even a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I definitely like Trey Lance a little more than some people do. There's no doubt about that. I think he's got huge potential. I also know for a fact he hasn't played a lot of football in his life. He hasn't played a lot of big time college football, and he certainly hasn't played a lot of NFL football. So to me, why would you not sit him behind Jimmy G?
Yep.
Let your team go and do their thing and bide your time. There's no rush. He's a rookie. It's his first year. He's a young guy. Let him learn the ropes. Like that. Like, I don't know why we're sitting here saying, oh my God, he's got all this athleticism. Cool. Keep him on the back burner. Like, I just don't get why this is so difficult for teams.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be. And the thing that I struggle with a little bit here is that it smacks of desperation.
Yeah.
And that's not who this 49er team is. Play Jimmy Garoppolo until you don't. That's what, I mean, because these things
in this division?
Yeah,
come on, dude.
These things tend to work themselves out.
Yeah.
So I think the most difficult quarterback situation is in New England because I think Bill Belichick doesn't want to play a rookie. And I think Mac Jones has beaten Cam Newton out.
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones has earned that job. And I think that Mac Jones should be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. My guess is he will be. I think the idea that Bill Belichick stood up on a dais in front of the media and said, oh, we have to make decisions.
Yeah, I like football season, and all the things that go with it.
And notice that he didn't say, yeah, we haven't made our decision on the quarterback. He said, yeah, we still have decisions to make. He didn't say, when he was asked, hey, have you made a decision at the quarterback? He said, we have decisions to make. We still have decisions to make. He didn't say that he doesn't know who his quarterback is. Bill Belichick knows who his starting quarterback is.
Yep.
Unlike the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields has outplayed Andy Dalton 10-1. Justin Fields should be the starter. They're not going to start him. They're going to start Andy Dalton, and we'll see how it goes. They're not going to be a playoff team.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
Oh, badly in Chicago. Badly
it's
in
embarrassing,
Chicago.
dude. Like, I don't like the handling. First of all, how is Matt Nagy still employed? Can I just ask that question? How the hell is he still head coach in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know.
How?
Justin Salas says, morning, fellas. Who are you guys have going to the Super Bowl? Kenny says, my money's on the Dodgers. Yeah, I agree. I think the Dodgers are going to win the Lombardi Trophy.
I have no idea what that was.
Right? Man, I mean, if you had to ask me now, I would probably take. I think you're probably taking Tampa or the Rams. The AFC is so wide open. Yeah, boy. Baker Mayfield looks really good.
Better. He's improving.
The J.K. Dobbins injury in Baltimore is huge. I think the AFC is incredibly difficult to.
It's the Chiefs until it's not.
I think right now that's the way you got to go.
I just think whether you like that or not, it is what it is. I mean, it is that team until another team shows that they can beat them.
By the way,
who's been the only quarterback that's really handled them?
Josh Rosen.
Tom Brady.
Josh Rosen.
No.
Did you see Josh Rosen look really good last night?
Yeah, funny what happens when you get a chance to sit behind a Hall of Famer, huh?
I would agree that Tom Brady is really the only guy that's handled them.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think until it's not, you have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm telling you, look at the situation with your other used to like Deshaun Watson guy. These rumors with the Dolphins that won't go away. The Dolphins are said to be offering the house to get Deshaun Watson out of Houston. Houston won't make the trade because they don't want Tua Tagovailoa. My hip hurts. They do not want Tua. I mean, again, I will just point out, bad teams are bad at footballing. You drafted Tua Tagovailoa after trading for Josh Rosen. You're not good at football. And I think with Flores there and with the momentum the Dolphins have, it makes sense to go and get a guy Deshaun Watson's caliber. It'll be interesting to see how badly the Texans want to get rid of him because that trade could be made today. But
why
anyway,
wouldn't you let him go, man? Just get rid of him.
Because you just want to you want to be a dick about it. The Houston Texans, I think, love proving points.
Yeah.
And hey, it is what it is. But right now, I think if it were me, I think you have to take the Chiefs versus the Rams-Bucks winner. because that's the only. Those are
Agreed.
the only two teams in the NFC that I think really are dangerous. Like the NFC West, there's just something wrong with Seattle, in my opinion. They're missing something.
Yeah.
I look at the 49ers. I don't like this quarterback situation. I love what I've seen out of the Rams.
You know what I love about the Rams? Haven't heard word one about Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
Haven't
and
heard
they're just
word
mean,
one, dude.
The Rams on defense are mean. They were on Hard Knocks against the Cowboys, which, by the way, you haven't watched a single minute of.
Don't have HBO. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, find somebody who does. The point is, why don't you have my HBO Go login?
I don't know. Maybe provide me launch codes and I'll use them.
Exactly. Daddy, I'm tired of watching porn. My arm's tired. Can I have your HBO Go login? Anyway.
I want it.
You do. You're thirsty. Anyway, the point is that I don't see another NFC team you can take. It's not the Packers. The Central's a joke. You know, the NFC South, I don't know. What about the Saints? By the way, this hurricane in New Orleans,
Dude.
Good Lord.
Bro,
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. No, so the Saints thing is interesting. By the way, if you watched the game last night, Drew Brees as a color analyst, love that.
Pretty good.
Really, really good.
Pretty
really
good.
informative, really credible. Enjoyed that a lot. The Jameis Winston dynamic is really interesting to me because everybody's really high on him right now.
I'm in.
Like after he made those throws. And I do think he is a lot better than he was. But I need to see these first 6 weeks. And I say 6 weeks because that's more than enough time to prove if you're legit or not. These first 6 weeks, how many interceptions does he throw versus how many touchdowns does he throw? That's what I want to see because he's one of the few people. He may be the only guy, I'd have to double check, but he may be the only quarterback in NFL history who's ever thrown 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season.
He's the only guy ever.
It's incredible to me. So, like, to me, that says you've got a huge arm, obviously. You know what to look for, obviously.
No,
but
you
you're
don't.
not risk averse.
You don't know what to. I think the issue with Jameis Winston has always been that he is a terrible human being who sexually assaults Uber drivers, in my opinion, and steals crap. But the point is that Jameis also has never been able to read a defense, and then he got with Sean Payton
And Drew Brees.
and Sean Payton. Well, I think Sean Payton is on a mission to prove that Jameis Winston is a salvageable quarterback. And I think Sean Payton is the best quarterback guru in the NFL. And a lot of it is mental because Jameis has always had the physical skills.
Yeah.
He just has not prepared well because he wasn't in good systems in Tampa. And then he gets to New Orleans and all of a sudden, you're in a quarterback factory. And now all of a sudden, he understands what disguises are in defense. He understands what defenses are trying to do to him. He understands how to use his head and shoulders to be a decoy to the safeties.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a different quarterback because he now knows he can't stare down throws or lock onto a receiver, which he was doing. This guy's a different quarterback. I'm in.
Well, and
I'm in.
And I think the cool thing too, if you're the Saints, is you've been dealing with Breeze for what 3-4 seasons now, not having a good arm, not being able to push the ball down the field. So now, I mean, if you have that dynamic now, I mean, that's a really good team. So we'll see.
Yep. Let's see. Huntley looked good for this weekend as well. He did. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You probably guys don't care, but what do you think of the Eagles signing Gardner Minshew? Well, they traded for him. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that they're not in on Jalen Hurts. That's what that tells you.
Never have been.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts is not a guy that the Eagles wanted, and he's not a guy that they want to be their starting quarterback. But he keeps producing. He keeps playing well. And I think that they're always going to be looking for the next starting quarterback. I mean,
and let's be honest, Gardner is a quality backup, no doubt about that. I mean, he can come in and make a difference for you. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look around the league, the best teams have quality backups.
I mean, look at the Browns. Case Keenum. Case Keenum made one of the biggest plays as a Viking. You know? So, I don't know, man. I just think you got to have quality behind your starter.
It'll be interesting. How come no Chargers? Well, because I don't think the Chargers aren't there until they prove it. I mean, you have a great quarterback. You've got this new coaching staff. you've had some turnover personnel-wise. They're going to need to show that they can protect Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And that defense can make plays. I have no doubt about that. I hope you guys changed your mind about chunky peanut butter. Damn it, Kenny.
Kenny?
It's
Please.
bad enough you tweeted a photo at me. I was having a good morning until you bring up, and you even like went out of your way to listen. It's not chunky, it's crunchy peanut butter.
I will chain you to a pipe!
They're going to find your body in a ditch on the side of the road if you ever correct me on chunky peanut butter again. Is there really proper nomenclature for chunky versus crunchy?
Yeah, it's crunchy. That's the proper nomenclature. Crunchy, yeah. Swear on my life, it's crunchy.
Okay. Anyway, we're looking for a new co-host on the show.
I will downsize your face with a shovel!
It's always going to be chunky. Always. Okay. What's your favorite? Do you like jelly? What's your favorite jelly?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. You know that jelly you used to buy in the little square container?
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite jelly.
Stonewall Kitchen.
Sure.
So good.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
I've gotten into cherry jelly a little bit, but there's no doubt red raspberry jelly.
Bomb.
Sex. Like, I mean, it's true. There is no doubt about that. I mean, Giggity says Jake's arm is tired from rubbing all that meat this weekend. Got to get those spices rubbed in evenly. How's the dating life?
Same as it was last Friday.
So non-existent.
Non-existent.
How's the matter of convenience?
Fine. Good.
Okay. So you guys are still talking?
Yeah, we talk. I mean, we're more friends that sometimes hang out than anything. That's like what it is.
Hang out.
Yeah.
That's fine. How's an adult eating peanut butter sandwiches? Spencer?
Love it. Love it.
Hey, look here, man.
I have peanut butter and jelly toast every morning pretty much.
So wait. Is toast a sandwich?
Fuck off. Don't start this. Why? Why do this?
What do you mean?
Why do this?
You're putting peanut butter and jelly on 2 pieces of bread and eating it.
See, you start stuff, and now it's going to be like, well, I mean, it's not a sandwich unless you have macaroni and cheese involved.
Cereal soup?
I mean, it's cereal soup. No, it's not. By the way, I'm rocking the Heritage Flakes right now. I will say this. Now, I guess we're going to move on to the pooping. Thank you. Last night, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm like, I hit the button on the $6,000 bed, and it goes into 0G mode.
0G.
By the way, the $6,000 bed.
Yeah.
Worth it at twice the price now. I figured out the firmness level. I figured out how I sleep best, and And
you got a body pillow?
Yeah, I have a body. My wife is so funny. So my wife, I bought a body pillow, and it's huge. I mean, it is the size of a body. That's why they call it a body pillow.
Get it? See what he did there? Body pillow,
stuff.
Can you measure it?
Yes, you can actually. But anyway, the point is, my wife tucked it in like it was a human, and she named it.
Tucking it in, huh?
Yeah, hey,
wow.
Tuck and fold. She named my body pillow Marge. And I almost put underwear on it yesterday because she tucked it in bed like it was a person. It was really funny. Body pillows are amazing, especially for guys like me that prefer side sleeping. Although the 0G mode on the 6K bed has now made me a back sleeper because it's that comfortable.
Yeah, I'm a side sleeper for life, bro.
Yeah.
Left side all day.
While you guys are sitting here, by the way, please hit thumbs up. Please give us a like on this video. It really helps the channel grow, so pound that like button. But yeah, the $6,000 bed, totally worth it. I forgot what we were talking.
Hold on. Question, though, about the bed. So you guys don't use pillows with this bed, is that right?
Not when you sleep on your back. You don't need a pillow.
Okay, how does that work, though?
Because your head is elevated. We have an iSense split top California King bed. So what happens is the head is split. The top half of the mattress is split.
Okay.
So I can raise mine, lower mine. My wife can do hers independently.
Yeah.
And so when you're in the raised position with the head, you don't need. Okay. So what I meant to say, when the upper part of the mattress is in the raised position, you don't need a pillow. LOL. Yes, I agree. That was Freudian slip. Because everything is a sex comment here.
Well said.
Yeah, grow up. Anyway, the point is, when the upper part of the mattress is in the elevated position, you don't need a pillow.
Okay.
It's really comfortable without it.
So where do you keep your pillow when you're in the raised position?
Just leaning against my nightstand with my gun. So
Perfect.
There you go. You know what the funny thing is, though? Now I have like 9 remote controls next to my bed. Because you have one to control the movement of the bed, and you have another one to control like the air chamber.
So it's not all in one remote?
No.
It's like several remotes.
No, it's one of the things I hate about this bed.
And then did you guys figure out the AirPod thing being under the bed and everything?
That's all set up.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had to figure a lot of things.
Okay, so you've got firmness and you've got height, but then you have another remote for the fan, right?
Yes.
Man.
Which my wife hates.
Do you have labels for the remotes?
I don't. They're all totally different, thankfully. They feel different.
All right.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the bed's great. So I'm getting ready to go to bed last night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, all right, got to drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl.
All gas, no brake.
You know, like got to take the kids to the pool.
Yep.
I haven't gone to bed with a PDH in a long time. Highly advisable.
Oh.
Now, I will say, I've switched to taking my Omegas at night.
Okay.
Because I've been, like the last week, I hadn't slept real well.
I think that's HIPAA.
No, it's not HIPAA, actually. It's just that I got a new bed and I haven't slept real well.
Oh, okay.
And so I have been researching, supplements because I take vitamins and supplements and all this stuff.
Right, yeah.
And so I take Barlean's Mega Omega 3. It's like a
and stuff.
Liquid omegas. They're really good. I get the orange flavor. But anyway, the point is, I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, the point is that I've been taking them before bed now.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Anybody that has done research on omegas know that it stimulates melatonin in your brain.
Yeah.
You take them before you go to bed, man, I've been sleeping great. Great. Now, the nighttime pea guy and I had a few conversations last night. But it's been awesome. Like, it's been really good. But that PDH was amazing.
Yeah. Do the commenters know what PDH means? I just am curious if people in the comments know what a PDH is.
Okay. I don't know. Do you guys know what PDH means? Fat Jesus says one of those remotes is Mrs. Monty's rabbit. No. It's not. Spencer Morgan says 2 pieces of bread is a sandwich.
Thank you.
No. When you put them on top of each other with things in the middle, then it's a sandwich, much like a hot dog.
Bro.
Yes, Jake, it's a toasted PB&J sandwich. Not if you eat the
See?
It's 2 pieces of toast that don't act together because one has peanut butter and jelly, the other has peanut butter and jelly, but they're never procreating together and mixing their fluids.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
See what I'm saying? How Giggity says Spencer doesn't enjoy the simple things in life. Yeah, Spencer, if you don't like peanut butter and jelly, there's a problem. There's a problem. James Knight says, have you guys tried Vegemite? No, I don't believe in self-torture. Justin Saul says, I have peanut butter and jelly toast before every run in the morning. It's so good. So
crunchy or creamy?
Yeah. Well, he's a man. He's got testosterone, so he eats creamy peanut butter.
Yeah, I agree. But
so he doesn't eat chunky.
It's
peanut
crunchy,
butter.
Please.
Jake, I got plenty of chicks in New Zealand for you if you're interested.
Hey,
put them on a plane.
Yeah, let's go.
By the way, I want to congratulate you.
On what?
You actually are you booked your own airfare yesterday,
dude. This flight situation
I'm proud of you.
Is going to be fire. So I booked my airfare to Maui. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago about first class and all that. Now this is my first time flying first class, right? So I get an email from Delta Sunday morning at 4 a.m., of course. Yeah, hey, we're going to have to reschedule the first leg of your trip. Yeah, you're actually going to be getting to Maui at about 8:30 at night. So you're basically going to miss most of your first day in Maui. And so of course I'm like, all right, I ain't having that. I can't do that. So
nah, bro.
So of course, what do? All right, let's dial up the 1-800 go F yourself Delta number, right? And what do I get? Well, it's going to be about a 90-minute wait, so we'll go ahead and call you back. All right, cool. Hit 1. All right, we'll call you back.
Okay.
Go over, do our thing, whatever. They ring my phone, 1-800 number. Okay, great. Now, the rep that I got on the phone with, phenomenal. Get on the phone with her, start talking about, okay, here's this, that, and the other. Can't really help you on the day of that you're leaving. So I'm like, all right, well, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna take an extra day off because why wouldn't I? I'm gonna fly into LA. the day before I'm actually supposed to fly out of LAX to go to Maui, and I'm still going to get to Maui in the same, setup as I was before. So just some tweaking. Overall, Delta was great. It only cost me about, I think it cost me about like $75 or whatever to make all the changes, and they refunded me my prior flight and all this. So it was perfect. It was great, which is why I like flying Delta, because they usually are pretty good. So yeah, everything was good.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. It's 83 days from now we go to Maui. Somebody earlier asked about what we're doing fitness-wise. Probably not enough.
Should have watched the video yesterday.
Yeah, watch the video. Yesterday was back and bicep day. Saturday was amazing. The workout on Saturday, yeah, man, bench press 225 7 times. And then got on the 7 times, whatever. And then got on the dumbbell bench press, flat press, and did 105, 105-pound dumbbells 3 times. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
So
it was legit.
I feel like we're making progress.
By the way, I just want to point out while we're talking about the gym, anytime you walk into a gym and there's no music playing,
it's awkward.
Weird, dude. It is so weird.
And it's already awkward because we wear masks in the gym and people stare at us.
It became personal with me.
Yeah, it's not it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
At all. But I mean, I'm telling you, your Delta is real. Did you see Spencer Litton from BYU?
Yeah, dude.
Got
ventilator and everything.
Got the J&J.
Yep.
Who do you
I don't know anybody that's got J&J.
And he got COVID really bad.
Here's the thing, though, and this is what you can't get away from. It affects everybody differently. So
yes.
I had COVID with no vaccine.
I had COVID.
Yeah, I was a schemer.
I
had
got
COVID,
the vaccine.
And that's what happened. I was sat down for probably 2 weeks. But, I was fine. It was a head cold for me.
And thankfully, that's not the Delta variant.
Yeah, and that's not the Delta variant, which is even worse. So, it just is. It is what it is, man. It is. It's a strange time we're in, and we just have to deal with it.
Yeah, and our fitness routine is we generally work out 6 days a week. We try to do legs 3-4 times a week of some variation. Although Gym Guy was an a-hole on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
we walk into the gym and Jake was all crabby. So do you get up at the same time on weekends or do you sleep late? I get up at the same time. I try not to sleep
Sundays late. I don't get up at the same time. Sundays I try to sleep till at least 6:30.
So Saturday we left the hizzy at like 5:35 to go to the gym. We walk in the gym and there's this guy using 3 machines. He leaves his phone on one, his water bottle on another.
And there's like 5 people in the gym, right?
And it's like, dude,
here.
Why are you doing this? And I contemplated kicking his phone off this one machine. I didn't do it. We went and leg pressed instead, but that was so annoying. 6 plates on the leg press ain't bad, though.
On each side.
Yeah, not bad. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, 6 plates on each side.
Just to clarify, people don't know. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah. By the way, that leg press is 80 pounds.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's like 660
what is that?
then.
45 times
12
equals plus 85. 625 pounds of leg press. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But we generally work out 6 days a week. So.
And then there's the car situation.
Yeah. Why do you bring this up? Okay, so. I've been trying to get wheels, tires, and brakes done on my Audi for a month. Can't do it. First, they had lug locks. Okay, they came out to my house, took the lug locks off. Okay, everything's good. Fast forward, weed-smoking hippie guy is going to do my brakes yesterday. It turns out that Audi now is using, proprietary, their own socket to remove brake calipers. So this dude's like, yeah, I don't have this part, and I'm probably not going to be able to get it. Can't do your brakes. Well, F. So now I've spent all this money on R1 brakes, $500-$600.
Yeah.
Still don't have the brakes on.
Yeah.
Order wheels. Turns out my wheels are 21 stock. I ordered 20s because that's what the dealership told me I had. Now, it's not the end of the world, but I can't get those 20s for 8 weeks anyway, at minimum. So what's going to happen is I'm going to wind up canceling those. I'm going to wind up buying Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. And I'm going to rock those for the rest of the summer, so probably into late October. And then I'm going to wind up getting some Michelin all seasons and swapping them out. And then in the spring, when I put the Michelins back on the Pilot Sports, I'll get some 21s. And hopefully they're available at that point.
Yeah.
It's freaking frustrating. Cost of doing business on an Audi, apparently. I never had this problem with Beamer, but then again, we weren't in a pandemic, were we?
It's true. It's absolutely true.
So now I'm going to have to find a German shop, and I think
we did. I got to call him today.
This Wofford's shop.
Hello.
This Wofford's Euro shop is who we're going to try and get my brakes done with. But now I got to cancel my Voss and wheels and, first world problems. And then there's the landscaper before we get out of here.
Dude.
What do I do with this landscaper?
This would piss me off.
So he was supposed to start last Monday and finish this past Friday. Pavers in my backyard. Okay, cool. Hey, man, it's rained a lot. We're going to be 2 days delayed. Okay, no problem. So I'll see you Wednesday. Shows up Wednesday. He's like, okay, so what are we doing? Which is the first thing that really pissed me off. Like, you know what we're doing. You and I did a walkthrough. And then he mismeasured. Oh, hey, going to have to get another $1,200 from you. We mismeasured.
How?
So he works on Wednesday. They tear up all the grass. Then they leave a wheelbarrow and a bunch of equipment in my backyard. They don't show up Thursday morning. Show up about 11:40 on Thursday afternoon. Tear up my backyard some more. Ghost on Friday. They don't show up. Call him, no answer. Email, no answer. Call him on Saturday, and I straight up said to the guy on Saturday, hey, man, don't make me chase you. Do not make me chase you.
Yeah.
No callback. Sends me an email last night at 7 o'clock saying we'll be there to flatten the ground and level on Monday and Tuesday. We'll finish the install on Thursday. It's like, so now we're going to be a full week late? Why? Why a full week late? Like, it just makes no sense at all. None whatsoever.
And by the way, what's he not accounting for? All the rain that we're about to get on Wednesday.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be taking excuses. I'm just not. Like, it is so infuriating to me. And this is the problem. This guy was available in 2 weeks. And when he said that to me, I was like, I shouldn't use this guy. Shouldn't use this guy. Should not use this guy. He's available and he's only got 2 weeks worth of work. So he says each job usually takes him a week. So he's only got 2 jobs booked. Should not use this guy. And if you're available right now as a contractor, that usually means you're not a good contractor.
Yep.
And this is what happens.
So, contractor referrals in the comments, please.
Yeah, I need a ground guy who can do pavers. Because I'm probably going to wind up firing this guy. Because I'm not going to take another week of delays. I'm not. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, dude. I think it's... We happen to have a lot of experience in this kind of thing, renovating houses and flipping and all the stuff that we did in Phoenix. And it just is, when they're doing this kind of thing, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
They're either low quality, they don't know how to run their business.
They're overbooked. He took a job and was overbooked and is probably robbing Peter to pay Paul. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
He's using my money to pay for another job, which is never a good thing. But we'll see. And the problem is, I don't like leaving guys bad reviews or reporting them to the licensing board. If this guy doesn't get this job done, if he doesn't get this done, I'm going to, hey, there's a new Jordan. Look at that bad boy.
Nice.
Yeah, I got too many shoes. I got to stop with the shoes.
Cool.
Anyway, I don't like reporting guys. Do you leave bad reviews for people who do bad work?
It depends. I mean, so for me, and this is something I'll probably face in the next 2 years, trying to buy a place or whatever, but like, I just don't have a lot of experience in it because I don't have people over at my house doing things. I don't have the only issue that I've had recently is car related, and that wasn't even really an issue. It was a small mistake that didn't really affect me outside of the fact that it inconvenienced me time-wise, but it's not like he broke anything or and frankly, the real rub is that the Big O tire shop that I happen to go to, because of the standards they have to follow, wouldn't move a washer that was technically by standard in the wrong place. So it's like that to me is different than a contractor who blows you off and is like a week to 10 days late. That's two different things. So would I leave a bad review? Yeah. In this situation, yeah, I would. We're not allowed to leave Yelp reviews, but, we'll find a way. Mrs. Monty can leave a review or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think it's a customer service in the contracting world is a big deal. You're talking about people's day-to-day lives that you're typically impacting.
It is unfathomable to me. And I told this guy, hey, because we're going to have a deck built and we're going to put in a hot tub.
Which he's definitely not doing now.
No, he's out. But I told him, hey, I'm going to have a deck built because I'm going to drop a hot tub in here. So, hey, do well on these pavers and we'll have you do the deck as well. And the guy, he's like, oh, yeah, you know it. Yeah, we're knocking this out. Doesn't call, doesn't write, can't reach him.
And it does say that on his Yelp page.
Well, yeah, there are Yelp reviews that say, hey, yeah, he doesn't communicate. And it's frustrating because when I called him the other day, I blocked my number and he answered like last week when he didn't show up until the middle of Thursday. And he's like, yeah, my guys are on their way. So, like if I call you and you don't answer, but then if I call you back and block my number and you pick up, it tells me you're avoiding my call. It's a bunch of bull crap.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. And I think that in all seriousness, I'm not even joking. We could really use a contractor referral. If you guys know anybody in Salt Lake who is a good contractor, or maybe your GC knows a ground guy that he has to sub work for him, that would be great too.
Wait, is there a conversation about do men eat dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets happening?
Wait, are you serious?
Are you kidding me? No, if you're a man, you don't eat dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. Okay, be a man. We all know you eat the chicken patty sandwich without bread.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets shaped like
Amateurs.
dinosaurs. Grow up. Grow up! Tanner says you guys should do your own flipping houses show. You'd be surprised. Justin Salas says if it were a 3 of a 10 service scale or worse, I would leave a review. It is.
It is.
Right now. Teddy Wayman says Wayman Brothers Construction is a great company. Is that true, Teddy Wayman?
Can you DM that to
Monty
on Twitter?
Well, his last name's Wayman, so I'm guessing it's his company.
Oh, okay,
Giggity says no discussion, only the child of chat talking about dino nuggets. We don't eat dino nuggets as real men. We don't. I mean, I seriously, I think if you eat dino nuggets, I think as a man, I think it eats your testosterone and your testicles shrink. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
Now, the question is, when you're making this idiotic decision to eat dino nuggets, are you doing it with ranch or ketchup?
See, you just keep going.
What do you mean? This is a valid question. Like PB&J toast, is that a sandwich? Valid question.
I am fighting a body-shaking sneeze right now. Like, it's not going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably get phlegm on my microphone.
Wow. Wow.
All right, we got to go. It's L1. Make sure you follow us. By the way, at 2,500 subscribers, we are going to give away a Traeger smoker, an Ironwood 650. But I don't know how we're going to do it. The merch thing, no. Don't ask me about merch because I'm all pissed off with a guy who I thought we had a deal done with. But
it's annoying. We need a merch guy referral. We need a printing press
screen printer
referral.
Yeah, we're working on that.
We are hunting one. It's painful.
Teddy Wayman says yes. It's my cousin's company. Teddy Wayman, DM me on Twitter or Instagram. I reckon dino-shaped nuggets aren't as bad as smooth peanut butter. Kenny,
it is not smooth peanut butter. It's creamy.
Yes, I put ketchup on steak. Deal with it. Let that resonate with you. I'm a psycho. I put ketchup. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right, we got to go. Hit subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. If you're here watching this, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Until tomorrow, say Dino Nuggets are for everyone and stuff.
Dino Nuggets are for everyone and stuff.
And stuff.